What's up guys, my name is Ace, and welcome back to Maps Exposed. This is the series where I share all of the lines of sight, jump spots, as well as any other sort of secrets that I know of on every map in Black Ops Cold War. And in today's episode, we're going to be covering Miami. And hopping right into it, the first spot I've got for you guys is really cool, but unfortunately not super practical. I wanted to show you this anyway. You guys may have seen this in some of my gameplays before, but if you hop off this balcony on the side here, and you land on top of the hedges, from here, you can actually jump back up to the balcony, just like that. And this can be used in a lot of situations. Maybe if somebody is chasing you into this room, for instance, you can just quickly hop off the balcony and then just sort of chill here for a little bit, wait till they come up into the room, and then you can hop up and surprise them like that. Unfortunately, there is no way that I've been able to find to get up onto the hedges from the ground here. I've tried everything. I spent a solid like 15 to 20 minutes trying to get up here with various jump spots, even using care packages where I'd throw a care package down here and try to jump on the care package and then from there on top of the hedge. And I just can't seem to do it, unfortunately. So that spot only works if you drop off of here and then jump back up. I do really wish it would be possible to get up onto that ledge from here so that you could actually make that jump spot from the ground. Next up with this stairway, just a quick thing I wanted to point out. If you are on this part right here, you can just jump straight up like this, which maybe you could use to juke somebody out. Maybe if somebody's chasing you around or like they're camping on top here, looking down the stairs like this, instead of coming all the way up and around this corner, you can simply jump your way up like this and shoot them in the back. After that, right next to that spot, we've got the diving board here. This isn't really so much of a spot. It's just something interesting I wanted to show you guys. If you jump on the diving board, you actually get a massive jump out of this. It's not super practical or anything, just a little sort of Easter egg that they have in this map. Next up, if you're spawning back in this area here and you have somebody up on that balcony and they're just locking down this entire street here, which a really good player can do quite effectively because you don't have too many cover options to challenge them, and they have the height advantage on you, a great line of sight if you got a sniper rifle or just something that's extremely accurate is to come back right into this area here. And then from here, you can actually see them through this little crack, and there is almost no chance they're going to be seeing you through this little crack here. So you can often just pick them off really easily, especially with a sniper rifle here, and it's just a great way to take them out. Next up, we've got a few lines of sight to challenge the people that are up in that window there, which you've almost always got somebody camping up there, sometimes even two people. The first spot I've got for you is over by this van here. If you manage to get to this van to take cover behind it, you might as well just back off a little bit, and if you sort of strafe around, you can look through this crack, and you can easily pick them off through this crack here. The thing about this one is you are pretty much completely invisible to them from this spot. They really just can't see you through here, and this is just a great way to pick them off. Of course, you do have to keep in mind you are fairly exposed to other areas of the map, so you have to be aware of your surroundings when doing this, but it is nice to know that you can do this. Now, right next to that van, another option is to hide behind this vehicle right here, and you can just shoot through these windows right here to pick them out of that window. And again, it's going to be very difficult for them to see you through this area compared to if you're trying to peek around the side like this. Another less obvious spot to be challenging these people is actually through this window right here. You can shoot through the window of this vehicle like that. And again, this is an area they're not normally going to be able to see you through this. You could also use this side window right here. Either one works just fine. And these windows don't block your bullet damage at all. And then finally, for the snipers out there, if you spawn all the way back in this area here, a great way to just check that spot really quickly and maybe pick off a quick snipe here is to just peek over top of the van right here. Normally, they're not looking way back here like this, plus you have really good control over how much of yourself you're going to be exposing to them, so really all they can see is the tip of your head, and you can easily pick this shot off on them. Next up, if you're on the beach side of the map and you're approaching from this area and you want to check to see if somebody's in that same window, you can actually come up to this area right here, hop up on this, and then you can crouch and use these stairs to basically head glitch over and pick those people out of the window. This is a great way to check for them if you are coming all the way wide on the beach area of the map. I wouldn't necessarily recommend lingering there because you won't get a lot of traffic, but it is a great way to check for those people. And then another thing you can do here if you're being a bit more aggressive to challenge those people, or at least check for them, is to jump up on these towels right here. And then from this area, it gives you a pretty nice line of sight toward that, and you can crouch to completely take cover from them if you need to. Now, speaking of this building here, the A Domination building, one big thing I wanted to point out is you can really easily jump to the second floor from outside, but it's not as obvious as you might think. If you actually butt yourself up against a wall and then try to jump up, it doesn't work. Not like that. What you have to do is actually take a bit of a run at it and jump a bit early and then hit jump again, and you're able to mantle up. And you can do this pretty much all the way around the building, aside from this area where you have this lip that comes out. But you can do this basically anywhere on this building. As long as you jump early, then you can easily mantle up, even though it looks like you shouldn't be able to just jump up that high. Additionally, I wanted to point out, these are actually windows, and you can use them to your advantage. If you're inside the A building here, maybe you're defending it for whatever reason, you can jump up on top of this and then look through here and pick people off. Or if you're on the outside, you can sort of use this as just a check spot before pushing in. So if somebody's holding the flag, they're just camping in there, for instance, you can just jump up and use this as a check spot to see where they're at before you approach. Not quite as practical as the inside spot, but still could be useful. Next up, I'm going to show you a few lines of sight to counter the people that are on that spot right there, which is a power position that people will use a lot. You're almost always going to see somebody go into that spot because it's just so good. And it can be difficult to challenge him, especially if it's a good sniper or just somebody with a good long-range gun. But one thing you can do from this side of the map, instead of peeking around here and exposing your entire body to them, instead what you can do is come to this area right here and you want to jump up on top of this sign. Of course, the beach side of the map does have to be safe and clear, but if it is, then you can just jump up on top of the sign here. And then from this sign, if you strafe over, there you go. Look at that little line of sight. You can easily just peek through that crack there. Of course, you are still visible to them, but this isn't an area they're normally looking in, and this will give you a bit of an advantage over them by jumping up here. Also, just an alternative to that sign spot, this one's a lot easier to get to. It's more so if you have a sniper rifle. If you come down to this area right here where these stairs are, you can basically just head glitch over top of this, and now you've got a much better chance of challenging that person that's on that head glitch without having to do any sort of fancy jumps, and you're also not exposing yourself nearly as much as when you're standing on top of that sign. As for another way that you can challenge these people, this is more for like a 1v1 situation where you know the rest of the map is quite safe. If you're over in this area here, if you jump up on the hood of this van, from here, if you crouch, you can slowly strafe your way up the van, and this allows you to control how much of yourself you want to expose to them, and then you can pick them off over to the top right here. This is just one alternative for challenging them. And then there's another thing, if you're a lot more aggressive here, and this is a spot I actually use quite often, this is jumping on top of the resupply bin right here. So if I'm approaching this corner, instead of strafing around like this, instead what I'll do is I'll just come up to this, jump on top of it, and look at that. This is a great way to lock down this area right here. It's a very, very effective spot. Now, kind of toward the mid-map area here, just a little spot I wanted to point out. There is a control area here. I believe this is also a hardpoint area, and sometimes you get people camping in there, and they'll be sitting in this corner, for instance, just sort of like locking down this area. And something I didn't realize you could do is you can jump on these chairs and just jump straight up like this and shoot them in the top of the head from here. This is a very situation-dependent spot. It's not something you're going to use all the time, but if the situation calls for it, it's good to know that you can, in fact, do that. Now, when it comes to countering that camping spot up there, where once again, you're almost always going to have somebody going up to that window there are so many options to challenge them. You can head glitch over top of any one of these vehicles here with a sniper rifle really, really effectively to pick them off. I'm not going to show you absolutely every single angle to this just because there are so many. You can even shoot through the bus windows right here to kind of find that perfect shot right there like that on them. However, as far as practicality goes, my favorite place to challenge those people if I've got a long-range gun is actually from right here. And there's a couple reasons for this. First up, I can easily just crouch to be completely hidden from them and then stand up and there you go, great line of sight on them. And second, this also works as a counter spot to that really common area right there. So this is sort of a 2-for-1. You can keep an eye on both of those common power positions, and if you've got a good long-range gun, you can easily challenge both of them quite effectively while being pretty safe from the rest of the map as well. Next up, let's talk about the stairs right here. If you're coming up to these stairs and you expect somebody's going to be camping up here, normally what they're going to be doing is sitting right here waiting for you to come up these stairs because they have a nice height advantage on you here and you can easily just pick them off as they start coming up these stairs. A great way to challenge these people, if you know that they're just sort of camping there waiting for you to come up the stairs, is to simply jump up to this area right here and then jump up like this. If you do that and you stick as far to the left as possible here, they won't actually see you jump up if they're standing in this spot right here. You'll be around the corner from them, and this just allows you to take them off guard by suddenly coming around the corner here. They won't know what hit them, and they'll be dead before they even know it. And with that, that's going to wrap it up for today's episode of Maps Exposed on Miami. As always, I'd like to know in the comment section below, which one of the maps would you like me to cover next, keeping in mind I've already covered a pretty decent handful of them, so I will leave a link to the playlist down below if you guys have missed any of the previous episodes. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.